CuyEast Chamber of Commerce. I'm Wayne Lawrence. Is owning your own business, can it be a blessing or curse? We're going to find out today. Today I have Alex Gertsburg from Gertsburg Licata Company LPA. How are you?
Good, Wayne. How are you?
I'm doing well. So
Good.
I will say, in full disclosure, Alex has probably done more podcasts than I've done in life. So it's really a pleasure to have you on, and we're going to have a dialogue about how you got into the firm and all those different things, and really dive deep into it. But tell us a little bit about what do you offer? I know it's business services and contracts and things. What else do you offer?
When people ask me that, Wayne, I say we sell peace of mind.
Okay.
Right? As a general matter, you come into a law firm, whether it's a business law firm or a non-business law firm, and you're usually stressed and anxious because who likes talking to lawyers, right? And it's usually about a problem that you want to go away. So we sell peace of mind because any way you look at it, whether you come to our law firm with a litigation issue, with a business transaction, an estate plan, a trust, a will, you're usually walking in with a problem that you need to solve, and we solve the problem for you. We are a business law firm, first and foremost. Our clients are all business owners or businesses themselves, and we try to be a trusted advisor to them. So whatever they need, if they're getting sued, if they need to sue somebody, if they are being investigated for something, if they want to buy or sell a company, we are the solution for them. And that solution is either coming from within our four walls or we bring the expertise in if we don't have it.
Okay. And you're right. As a business owner for years, I really do not like talking to lawyers and stuff for this context right here. So I'm glad we're talking from that standpoint. And then, even for having a business client and what we're looking for. So you focus on small businesses, or is it larger corporations? Kind of where's your footprint? Yeah.
Focus-wise, it is the lower middle market.
Okay.
Right?
Gotcha.
So, but that is just, if you had to draw a bell curve of where most of our clients are, it's in the lower middle market. So that's 10 to 100 million in revenue, 10 to 100 employees. But we have always, do now, and will always represent the small business, the startup. We are a small business. I have been a startup. I am still
You're a business.
I'm still a startup in other ventures that I'm involved in. And we also have on the top end billion-dollar companies, large cap companies that don't fit any of those other descriptions too.
So let's touch upon that in terms of you being a small business or a startup in a sense. We know that people go to law school. They come out, maybe they work for a big law firm. They get burned out potentially real quickly, and they go, I'm going to do this myself. But very few people can and do. What inspired you to sort of break off and, do your own law firm? Yeah. Because it's scary.
It's really interesting, Wayne. I was getting nostalgic coming in here. Okay, so across the street from here is a street that is now called Renaissance Parkway, but at one time was called Emory Industrial Parkway. I wasn't born in this country. I was born in Moldova, which if you know, or any of your listeners know where Moldova is, I will be shocked. That is, it's nestled between Russia, Ukraine, Romania, and the Black Sea. And I came here in 1979 when I was 4 years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And within about 3 years of that, my dad had gone to night school, learned English, and decided that he needed to be an entrepreneur. And so on Emory Industrial Parkway, right across the street from here, is still a sign on a building that says Cabinet Elegance, and that was my dad's business. And I used to go there and sweep all the sawdust off of the floor. I used to clean up. There was just this constant smell of turpentine or whatever lacquer they used, and I'm pretty sure to this day I have brain damage because of all that stuff that I inhaled. But I learned from my dad that entrepreneurialism is just such a beautiful skill and mindset and place to be for an American, certainly for an immigrant. But it is a place where you get to create your own future and help support the futures of other people around you. And having worked with him, worked around him, and this will go to your question about whether it's a blessing or a curse, I decided long ago that I was unemployable. And if you talk to, you mentioned the big law firms. I worked for 2 big law firms. They will tell you Gertsburg was unemployable.
Right. Okay.
So grew up poor immigrant kid on the east side in East Cleveland, in Cleveland Heights. Watched LA Law as a kid. Did you used to watch LA Law?
Wow, absolutely, yeah.
So
yeah.
I wanted to be Arnie Becker.
Sure, okay.
I was like, man, that guy, he just gets all the women, drives awesome cars,
Right.
captivates juries, and makes tons of money. Sign me up. I want that guy's job.
Yeah.
I wanted to be Arnie Becker. Through high school, still wanted to be a lawyer, got an Army ROTC scholarship, went to college for free, went to law school after that. Just never really had doubt that I'd be a lawyer, and then went to work for a couple large firms up here, got deployed to Iraq in 2003. I was a convoy commander and a platoon leader and eventually an executive officer of a transportation company. Came back, served as in-house general counsel for 8 years for a large telecom company. And then in 2012, started my own law firm because see above, I am unemployable.
Exactly.
And Dad made entrepreneurialism look really cool.
It wasn't the law firm that made you think you were unemployable, was it? Or is it just you just wanted to do it yourself? You had the desire to just kind of jump in and then follow that with, it's a very risky thing to do.
Yeah.
So how'd you get through that?
It's such a great question, Wayne. So I'll work backwards. The last point I think is my favorite. All of our clients are entrepreneurs and their companies. And what I've learned about every one of them is something that I learned about myself, probably something you know about yourself, definitely your listeners, which is that when you decide to go into business for yourself, you are trading one thing in for another. You're trading in a steady paycheck and job security and predictability for risk, but unlimited upside.
Sure, absolutely.
Being a master of your own future, right?
Yeah.
So which one do you want, right? Do you want predictability and security? Or do you want to roll the dice? When you roll the dice, you get to define your own future, and take ownership of your future. Right?
So what surprised you, though? I mean, you get in business, and you know everyone gets in business has this idea of what it's going to be like to be an entrepreneur, and most have no idea until they start doing it. Correct. Yeah. So what did anything change throughout, or what did you learn from it?
So. I guess the things that come up for me when I hear that question, Wayne, are number one, there's a saying in the Army, and it goes something along the lines of, if you're going to be in the suck, just enjoy it. Right? You're in the suck. If entrepreneurialism was easy, everyone would be doing it. It's hard work.
It is.
It's risky.
Yeah.
You have a ton of things that are just beyond your control. So enjoy the suck, right? Number one. But number two is, and this is why your chamber is a lifeline to all the entrepreneurs in it, right? You're surrounded by people who are in the suck with you, right? Yeah. They're all going through the same uncertainty, and they're all pursuing that dream, that brass ring. They all want to just expand their creativity. And they all decided that, just like you, that they're going to roll the dice. They're going to trade in security for risk and unlimited upside. And you are all playing the same game. Yeah. And so you guys, what you guys do great in the chamber is you create that support network around all of your members. Yeah. And you create that connective tissue between them. Yeah. You create ways that they can help each other. You have these great events.
Recently, you just did a presentation at the CuyEast Chamber about the legalization of marijuana from a recreational standpoint and how it impacts the workplace.
That really is a great example of the value that you guys provide to your members, right? So that was a great event. You had like 50 people who walked into the room anxious about how their businesses will be affected by the decriminalization of marijuana, right? They had no idea what happens. And we were just pounded with great questions, right?
Well, and I'm going to encourage anyone who's listening or watching. I tell you, we're going to put a link to that because it was a fabulous presentation. It was very informative to business owners.
Folks listening at home, if you're not in this chamber or in a chamber, you're missing out.
Exactly.
You're totally missing out.
You stole my line. That's the only reason
I knew you were thinking it. I knew you were thinking it. Yeah, no, but it is so true. Entrepreneurial is fun, but it's hard. Why do it yourself?
Yeah, anyone who listens and watches this knows that I'm a chamber guy too. I grew up through the chamber, and that's what, my company I have now, that connection was made through a chamber. When I bought the company, it was at that time. I met you through the Chamber of Commerce. I came to a couple of presentations you gave through the Chamber of Commerce. So you're absolutely right. It's not easy sometimes because people are fearful of, networking and going to these events. But you got to figure it out and learn because it's the right way to go. So,
and the other thing that's great about it is it's not. I mean, I've had a business coach for a long time, and I've got peer groups, mentoring relationships. What's great about a chamber is at any given point, you are either in a room with 1 or 2 people or 30 or 100 people, and you get to pick and choose whose mindset is going to get you the farthest and how you can contribute, how you can change other people's lives. And that is a great microcosm of the business community. But more importantly, it is just pregnant with opportunities to both give and receive a lot of value.
Well, it might be the easiest way to connect because people are in the same vicinity of each other rather than knocking on doors. So let's switch gears a little bit. So Gertsburg Licata, okay. I know you mentioned that you had opened up your firm, of course. Tell me about the merger. You merged with another?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So it was 3.5 years ago.
Okay.
It was April of 2021 when we finalized the merger. So started my own law firm in 2012. From then until about 2020, I outgrew my capacity, right? Like business was, people ask me, how's business? I go, people keep suing each other.
Right? Did you have partners and other attorneys at that time? And how many did you have?
I had income partners, not equity partners.
Gotcha.
And I had a team of about 15 people.
15? Okay.
And but we had way more business than we could possibly do ourselves. And so I had been at that point a few years into EO, Entrepreneurs Organization. And I met Lou Licata in EO. Okay. He had also been in that organization for a long time. And I was just like, man, I'm dying, Lou. I need someone who can write wills and trusts. I need somebody who can supervise these lawyers in court over here. The problem, Wayne, when you're the senior lawyer in a law firm is you're on every case. You're on every matter. And I was burning out. And so Lou had kind of a similar situation over there. Yeah. I had a lot of really great junior lawyers and very few senior lawyers. He had the exact opposite dynamic. So we were just this perfect yin and yang. We started working together, started helping each other on our cases. And we worked together for a year. And one day, somebody in my organization said, man, why don't you guys just merge already? Right? And it was so funny because Lou and I had both been thinking about it, but neither of us thought the other one would want to merge with him. Right. And as soon as she made that suggestion, now Lou and I are business lawyers, so we've been doing deals for our clients for years, years and years. From the moment that this employee made the suggestion, which was in January, until April, we just put the machinery for a merger together, put the checklists, the documents together, found a building, financed the building, moved into the building, all of that inside of a 90-day period.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just like clockwork. Yeah. And Lou and I work great together, very similar mindsets. And so it was just easy. It was just easy. Yeah.
And the building is located Brooklyn Heights, correct?
600 East Granger Road, Brooklyn Heights. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So that person makes the suggestion, and you go from there into 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and you're there at that point. But now you're co-managers, correct?
Yeah.
Alex has been doing this himself. He's making all the decisions. Even though he's tired.
Yeah.
And then Lou was doing the same thing.
Yeah.
How do you co-manage together?
Oh, man.
That's like a wedding.
When you figure it out, Wayne, let me know, because we're still trying to figure it out. No, here's another observation that I personally have made about all of my clients. Okay. When you run your own business and you want to grow and scale a business, there are a couple skills that are just absolutely critical. One is confidence, but the other is emotional intelligence. Okay. When you become responsible for what other people in your organization are doing, how they're delivering services to your clients and customers, how you're going to market, how you're going to put the numbers together to become profitable. All of those things require both confidence and emotional intelligence, among other skills. When you add a partner to that mix, your emotional intelligence skill needs to double. You need to increase your emotional intelligence substantially. And here's the thing. They don't teach that in school.
No.
Emotional intelligence is not a class you ever get unless you're looking for it.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know where you pick it up, right? I've definitely failed at it more than I've succeeded at it. But I would say that the secret to my partnership with Lou is emotional intelligence on both of our parts.
So, and you were able to combine ideas and resources. I read something about a Cover My Six.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty unique. I've never seen it before. Actually, I think it's trademarked.
It is trademarked. It's a registered trademark of Gertsburg Licata.
Tell us about it. What is it?
So, Wayne, I'm sure you've watched buddy cop movies and army movies, right? You've heard the expression "cover my six," which basically means cover my butt.
Right.
Here's a fun fact, Wayne. There are only 6 plaintiffs who can sue a business: customers, vendors, employees, shareholders, the government, and competitors. 24 years of practicing law, I have never found a 7th plaintiff.
All boiled down to that 6, huh? Wow.
All 6. Okay. Those are the only. Yeah. So if there is a 7th plaintiff, which occasionally someone will pretend to be a 7th plaintiff, like a subrogee in insurance, someone steps into their shoes, your neighbor is not one of those, right? What I can guarantee you is that the exact same mechanisms for protecting yourself from that person exist in the 6 plaintiffs, right? Your neighbor is actually a customer of yours as far as the law is concerned, okay? For example. But the point is, you can compartmentalize legal liability into those 6 groups. And if you know that there's only 6 people who can sue you, then you can reverse engineer what they can sue you for, because there's a limited number of things that your customers can sue you for, that your employees can sue you for. And if you know what those things are, then you can build a fort around yourself and your business.
Cover my 6. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
Exactly. Yeah. So thank you. So that's what we do. We build forts and we build tanks.
Okay.
Right? We build forts that protect our clients from their customers, their suppliers, their employees in court. We keep them out of court. And we build tanks so that if they do find themselves on the receiving end of a lawsuit, we make it, we create an immediate off-ramp, and we make it really difficult for those lawsuits to be maintained. As an example, all customer contracts, all employment agreements, all agreements with suppliers really need to have good dispute resolution provisions in them, okay? And those dispute resolution provisions should make it really hard for the business to get sued. They should have I call it a 5-step waterfall process, right? Before you, customer or employee or vendor, can sue me, you have to go through these 5 steps first. You have to give me written notice. You have to wait for 30 days and let me address your beef during that time period. If that fails, then we will have a face-to-face meeting. If that fails, we will go to a mediation. And if that fails, we're going to go to an arbitration in front of an industry expert who knows something about my business, right?
Okay. Yep.
Those are the kinds of tanks and forts that you need to have, because we are in a very litigious society.
Sure.
And you don't want to spend your entire life building up a business and putting everything you've got into it, only to see it blasted in public records, and giving up control to lawyers and judges and juries who don't really know or care anything about you.
How is your business affected by, even with your client interactions and relations, how's it affected by AI, ChatGPT?
We are definitely using it in our business because it is just negligent not to, right? If used properly, it will make you more efficient. And who doesn't want an efficient lawyer? Mm-hmm. So number one, how do you use it well? How do you use it ethically? The way we do it is we try to use AI to learn about our clients, to learn about their industries, to learn about their cases, to learn about our opponents, in a way that otherwise we either wouldn't do or which would take us a lot of time and our clients' money to do. That's number one. Number two is it uncovers blind spots for us. We have our own internal GPT, right? So
Sure.
Basically a way for us to catalog and mine and excavate data and information within our infrastructure so that we can optimize solutions for our clients, right? And so we use it so that we're not reinventing the wheel. Mm-hmm. We use it to uncover those blind spots. What aren't we thinking about right now, right? Well, there's so much activity happening in our law firm, day after day after day. It's mountains and mountains of data growing and growing every day. And you have this highly, highly intelligent machine that is helping us optimize our solutions creatively. So that's how we're using it. And all those law firms that aren't, they are selling their clients a service, I ought to say a disservice, because what they're doing on an hourly basis, one man or woman for every task, we can do in a much more efficient way, saving our clients money, giving them better results. It makes us more competitive, and we do it really ethically. We take confidentiality, integrity extremely seriously. And so those companies that either aren't using it well, or using it unethically, we're not going to be hearing about those law firms in the future.
Yeah. And it comes now. So has owning your own business, has it been a blessing or a curse? I would have got to it at the end.
So it has been 99% blessing for me. But I think I think the reason I can say that is because having the right mindset so that every problem is converted into a blessing is part of that, right? Yeah. There's very few, to be honest with you, I changed my answer. It's a 100% blessing. Okay. I live in a country where I get to start a business and I get to have laser focus of my talents and skills on on solving a client's problem. And I get to build an infrastructure around scaling our service delivery among many clients. I get to build wealth. I get to have employees who get to put food on the table, who get to put their kids through college. And I get to do all that all while having fun and gamifying everything. And I'm either winning or I'm learning. I'm never failing. And so in that sense, it's never a curse. Yeah. It's never a curse.
And I agree with that too, from the failing standpoint. I mean, a lot of business fail, I guess, but the way you look at it, it's not even failing. It's just learning. So I have experience doing it for down the road as well, too, handling the same situation, which is, that's great advice to everyone. Yeah. Because you can consider failure in your company, and next you're out of business because you dwelled on that failure versus trying to just figure out how you can learn from it. I think that's fantastic advice. Yeah.
I think, one of my greatest mentors has been a guy named Dan Sullivan. He's a business coach in Chicago. He's all over the world, actually, but I see him in Chicago. I've been going to talk to him and to his folks over there for 8 years now. And he's the one who taught me that confidence is the entrepreneur's greatest skill.
Absolutely.
So number one, it is a skill. I mean, that's something you can work out, like going to the gym. Number two, it is the greatest skill because it has this meta application where it affects everything else, right? You think of the way you solve problems. You think about whether you think of something as a blessing or a curse. Well, if you have total confidence, you're solving your problems differently. When you have total confidence, you walk into a room and you're talking to people differently than when you feel defeated or deflated. Yeah. And so I think that if I ever catch myself thinking of a problem as a curse or as creating a curse, I think I need to go back to the question of, am I bringing confidence to this problem? Because if I am, it's never a curse. I'm just learning.
So what advice would you give someone? Because we're going to have listeners and people watching who are just thinking, okay, should I dip my toe in it? Which some people do. Should I dive in, which others do? What advice would you give those people who are diving in if they want to start a business or even start? You have lawyers who may dislike what they're doing right now.
Yeah. So
what do you tell them?
Setting aside the confidence piece. Look, I'm just going to use my own life. I'm just going to use my own life as an example. Get a coach. Surround yourself with people smarter than you. Learn from other people's mistakes and victories. Be a lifelong curious learner. Get a really good understanding of a few numbers. I sucked at math. I failed algebra multiple times. I failed accounting multiple times. That really beat down my confidence for years and years. But I learned that I don't need to know every number in the business. I just need to know the 4 or 5 most important ones.
That's most important. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Profit margin, things like that, right? And then I need to be able to drill down to other numbers when those numbers are out of whack, the big ones, right? So getting your arms around a few key numbers and then watching them and tracking them on a regular basis is huge. And then have a great system and have good processes. The system we use is called EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. It was founded by a guy named Gino Wickman, and the book that he wrote is called Traction. And that book is my Bible. The book that I read before that was called E-Myth, right? By Michael Gerber. And the reason it's called E-Myth is because he was focusing on the myth that entrepreneurialism is easy and that anybody can just figure it out like that. Well, no. Entrepreneurialism is something that requires processes and systems and scorecards and support networks. And so having good processes, good systems is absolutely critical to building a business, and people don't reinvent the wheel there.
Yeah.
People like Michael Gerber, Gino Wickman, Dan Sullivan, Wayne and Steve at CuyEast Chamber. People have done this before you. Learn from their mistakes. Surround yourself with those people and learn from them.
That is great advice. It really is when I think about it, because you're just not saying, hey, just have confidence, but you're pointing to resources they could go to. You're pointing to the fact that if there's failure, don't let dwell on it, see it as a learning experience. And I think that those who are listening and those who are watching are definitely going to either leave and jump ship, not get into it, or they're going to dive in and say, yeah, I think I had all that covered. They won't use cover my 6 though. All right. Alex, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate you coming on. It was very fascinating. You're a sharp guy, man. And I can't wait to talk to you 3-4 years from now and just see where you are. It's going to be unbelievable. Keep doing what you're doing, all right?
Thanks, Wayne. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, if you like this episode, don't forget to comment, like, and share.
This podcast was made possible with the support of our sponsors. Find more ways to grow at CuyEast.org.